Welcome to Crosstalk. This is episode number 4. I'm going to zoom in. Number 4. Get out of the way. Anyway, welcome to Crosstalk once again. I am joined here with Pastor Brad.
Hello.
And would like to say that I had a very nice conversation at breakfast this morning with Ted and Ben and Jay and you.
And Greg.
Oh, yeah. How can I forget? I'm sorry, Greg and Greg Mosher.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And he's going to be the first one to listen to this. And now he's going to say, Coby forgot me. So be ready for the wrath of Greg.
I am always ready for the wrath of Greg. I've been well prepared. So last week we talked about, we had a question, which was, what was something that you used to love as a child or a young person, and now you just can't stand it? And so, I said eating my boogers, and you said bologna, and I put bologna on your face, and it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no one responded to us. I'm a little hurt that no one reached out. So we had to go to the source, and we had to ask some people at the table.
We don't give up so easily.
So, some answers we got. Greg Mosher cannot stand celery. He says that Karen is always trying to sneak it in the recipes, and it just grinds his gears. He also can't stand the board game Monopoly anymore.
So I want to comment on Greg's answers for just a minute. I think he is perfectly justified in both of his reasons for both of his answers, because celery is crunchy hair with water, and I believe it is a deceitful vegetable that is a result of the fall of humanity. And I don't think celery will exist in heaven. If it does, I don't know if I'll be sanctified to like it. But if God sees it that way, that that's how it should be, then so be it. It is just not enjoyable.
Okay. I am anti-celery, but not quite to hating it, I guess. I prefer celery with like peanut butter and raisins on it.
Exactly. If it's a vehicle for raisins and peanut butter, then it's okay. But on its own, it's a severely deprived vegetable. Isn't it one of those things that you eat? It actually takes more calories to eat it than what the nutritional value is.
It would not shock me if that was the case.
It's like pandas that eat bamboo, right?
Yes. I went on a whole rant. What was that, last Tuesday?
I think so. At staff meeting, yeah.
About things that just don't make any sense. Pandas are spoiled, rotten bears that eat bamboo because we won't get into it. We don't have enough time. So anyway, and then Ben said he doesn't like green beans. And that shocked me.
Me too.
I have comments on this.
Yeah.
I love Ben. Ben is wonderful. Ben, if you're watching this, you're awesome. Thanks for what you do. I really thought that Ben would not be such a picky eater. And I feel like green beans, for the most part, are like a pretty safe thing for a lot of picky eaters. I consider myself a picky eater, and I like green beans. And so I was shocked when he told me green beans. I could not believe it. Being a farmer, and growing up, I assume he was also raised on a farm.
I think so.
And raised by farmers, and farming has been his whole life. And he doesn't like green beans. That just feels kind of like anti-American and anti-Indiana.
But remember, he has a really reasonable explanation for he tolerates them. Okay, he will eat them. He will enjoy it. I don't think he's a picky eater, at least in the way I think of picky eaters, like my wife. Sorry to throw you under the bus, Kylie, before all to hear, but he said he probably ate way too many as a child, once or twice, and that kind of gave a traumatic coloring of them from there. So I think I might have, I don't think I had that with bologna, but I know that there are some stuff like that where if you overconsume a food, you can just end up hating it or avoiding it for like up to 2 years or more.
Yeah.
Maybe forever. So yeah, the food trauma is a real thing. We do not have food trauma counseling classes here at Cross Community Church.
Not yet.
I guess I've just been thrown under the bus. So if I start getting calls about this, I'll know that it came back to this podcast. Thank you for listening and holding us to account for the things that we say.
And then I've got one more, and I saved this one for last because it's the inverse. So Jay Googled used to hate peas and now he loves to eat peas.
And I'm not surprised.
I don't have anything to say.
Yes. And I'll say I didn't like peas as a kid, but I think my first exposure to them was out of a can, like the canned stuff, which is absolute garbage. Then I started getting frozen peas. Those are pretty good. And that's what I've exposed my daughter to. It's the one green thing that I can get her to eat with a lot of ease. And they're amazing because they have a really good base flavor that doesn't require seasoning like at all. And I think that's just a natural gift to the world.
I don't like peas, but if they're in my Mexican rice, I will eat them.
Yeah, because it's shielded by everything else.
It's shielded by good stuff like
seasoning and rice and chicken.
Yeah.
Or
chicken broth, rice tasting stuff.
Yeah.
My goodness. You know, we can get so much out of a chicken.
all the way
Yes.
down to
It's bones and broth and stuff.
Yeah.
Green beans, I use like chicken soup base or bouillon cubes to make them taste more vibrant than they are.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Well, hey, we went through another sermon last week on Sunday, if you can believe that. We went through the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. And just to give a summation of this story, in Luke chapter 18, verses 9 to 14, again, Luke says that he also told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and treated others with contempt. So Jesus tells the story of a Pharisee who is praying to the Lord and thanking God for not making him like other people. You know, I fast twice a week. Thank you for not making me like the extortioners, the unjust, the adulterers, or even like this tax collector. But then on the flip side, there's this tax collector who recognizes how needy he is and doesn't even look his eyes up to heaven, but beats his chest and says, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. And Jesus says this man went to his house justified, where the Pharisee went to his house condemned. So self-righteousness is dangerous, is the big piece we went with there. But I want to hear some of your thoughts on this particular text now that we went through it on a Sunday, and just any thoughts that have come from reading it and such. I want to hear your perspective before I say more.
I feel like I had things I was going to say, and now I didn't write them down, and now I'm...
Okay, so I can go down a track, and if they come back, just interrupt me.
Okay.
So I was thinking about this more even after yesterday's sermon and
Sunday sermon.
Sunday, guys.
Sunday.
The days run together right now. I've been a little busy with stuff. But you know, self-righteousness is dangerous because the very moment that I think I am better than someone else, I am incredibly, violently dangerous to myself and to other people, because I think I've arrived somewhere and I have a leg to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can lord that over someone else because I've already done it in my own heart. And where this gets dangerous, it becomes legalism, like the Pharisees would have had, like is described here. And legalism shows up when it's based on, well, if you look at the resume of stuff I have, I'm better than Joe off the street. I think what Jesus is really communicating here is how in need everybody is. And even the strongest, most mature, faithful believers are in need of him all the time. And the most wise people will tell you that. They'll say that their life breath and their sustenance is only because of Christ. And I think that's what it has to be if we're going to mature in the faith. So any thoughts on that kind of thing I pulled out in reflection of?
I think you really said it all.
Okay, so I have another thought here too. I was talking to some friends of mine, and believers are always in this war between good and evil. The Bible instructing to flee from temptation, resist the devil, all of these other things. We're always at a war between good and evil. And you're going through Romans right now, so you're seeing the meat of this bone
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
every verse of every chapter with your students. And I was having a conversation with a friend today, and I came to this realization that, to realize how needy we are is the reason I'm saying this, but real spiritual maturity is recognizing that, like, we can't trust ourselves to steward things that can be stumbling blocks and trip us up.
Right.
Like for this Pharisee, okay, extortioning wasn't his trip up. The tax collector stuff wasn't his trip up. The unjust, wicked judgment wasn't his trip up, at least in his own eyes. He wasn't, committing blatant out front adultery. But so if none of these are his struggle, pride certainly is.
Right.
And he can't see that.
Mhm.
So I think when we realize where our weaknesses are, it helps us immeasurably to have people, one, to talk through that with, but also recognizing our need for the Lord and his strength in these things, but also have the humility to hear what God actually says our condition is. And we are going to have Adam's nature as a part of us until we pass away, and he returns and calls us home, right? So with that in mind, I'm always a danger to myself.
Yeah.
I'm the most dangerous thing that can happen to me. I think when I shared that illustration from Paris Reed had, the three primary enemies a person faces is the world that you live in and you inhabit, the ancient foe, Satan, the dragon, the serpent, whatever you want to call him, and the flesh. The flesh is your worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy.
Yeah.
Your own wicked heart is your own worst enemy. And
There's a song about that.
which one?
My own worst enemy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I know it.
It's
We'll listen to it off.
off-air.
Okay, cool.
It's
It's a fun song.
Okay, sweet. But I think recognizing all of that, and this is not to make a doom out of everything, but an assurance in the hope that we have that even though my default settings are wired to go against God and his will, Jesus comes to inhabit my life, your life, anybody who calls on his name, because he's good, and he's going to make those who are wanting to be so a new creation in himself. It says that in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. So I just had a lot of thoughts upon reflection from that passage this past week, and I'm encouraged because the more I follow the Lord, I tend to be realizing that none of this can be on my own strength. You read these passages and you're like, I think this is possible, but it can't be if I'm trying to do it. I know I can't do this, but he can. But he can in me. So that's my encouragement to you: is keep running to him, keep struggling through it, keep seeking him, and it's going to be well for you. So a little longer recap this week.
Yeah.
I had a lot stewing on my head that I wanted to share.
Well, we need to go through announcements.
Yes.
And you were supposed to be telling us a joke before we wrap up.
Yes.
But anyway, so I will start off with announcements and you jump in and correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
So, no.
Wrong.
November 9th. I saved myself. I was wrong,
But then I saved myself.
November 9th, we're having a congregational safety meeting.
Yep.
Directly after church, 15 to 20 minutes. If you are a dedicated volunteer or you're volunteering in any capacity at this church at any point, at any time throughout the year, you need to be here. We need to make sure that you know what's going on so that we are safe. And there will be a demonstration on how to throw a hymnal at an assailant if
Yes.
needed.
Yes, absolutely. Who's going to be the willing target? Don't you dare volunteer someone.
I was about to.
But I do think that Judy Affolter and Judy Fleming will be giving the demonstration.
Oh no. You just threw the two of them under the bus. I will pray for you as the wrath befalls you.
And then October 26th,
6th,
we're having a screening of The Last Apostle with Dr. Mark Fairchild, or
Mhm.
as I like to call him, Indiana Fairchild.
Yes.
And that will be starting at 6:00. There will be pop and popcorn available as refreshments.
Mhm.
I will not be here. I'll be cheering on the Colts. Go Colts. And the Q&A afterwards.
Yes.
It will be a good time. And you will see Brad's elbow for at least 2 seconds.
Yes. And you talk about Indiana Fairchild. Did I tell you about the hat that he had on our trip?
Does he have a hat similar?
It's a leather hat.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. And I don't know where he got it, but it has like a metal badge on the side of it that is the Indiana Jones logo.
Oh my.
So he bought it from like some, Lucasfilms store. So he really does own it.
I honestly don't know him all that well. That surprises me, but it's also very funny.
Yes, it is.
What else? We have other stuff coming up in the church, which is, I'm doing this without notes. The YSC dessert banquet is coming up soon. That is November 18th at South Adams, starting at 6 or 7.
it's
I
in my
think
calendar.
I
Hold on.
I think it's
It's in my calendar.
I think it's 7 because it's a dessert banquet.
I'm all for supporting it and going. I'll be there. It's going to be a great time. But calling it a dessert fundraiser or banquet is kind of misleading because it's 7 to 9 p.m. If you want to sign up, I know that Cindy, Abby, and myself are all signed up. It'll be a good
we're
time.
signed up too.
Oh, good. You signed up. I beat you to it. Congratulations. I think it's misleading though. This is irrelevant, but this is my own commentary on it. It's been promoted to me a couple times as a dessert fundraiser. And to me, a dessert fundraiser sounds like we're raising money and we're earning desserts. But I don't think that is the case. Is that correct?
No, you're given desserts and whatever you decide to give is a fund that night.
So
It's it's like the exact same thing as a Hope Clinic banquet,
they're
just different content.
so essentially they're feeding us dessert and they
Yes.
want our money.
Yeah, because they need it.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
they're going to give me dessert.
I suppose you could take a yak as donation.
Liz and Lee, if you're watching this, please respond. Do you want a yak?
Or we know people with goats if they want.
Do you think that we could actually get a goat?
I know we could get one. I don't know if we could take it inside the school. I don't think we should do that. Please disregard all of the last rabbit hole there. This is our lives every day as a staff. Pray for Linda, our office administrator, because she puts up with this. Then also Karen in the midst of our rabbit holes, and Karen also starts rabbit holes.
Yes.
So we drive her insane. And she's not paid nearly enough to put up with it, but she's just wonderful and does it. So anyway.
And she loves us anyway.
Yes. She's going to have extra crowns in eternity for putting up with our shenanigans.
Does it also mean that Jama also gets extra crowns for putting up with us? Especially have to put up with you without me?
Yeah, probably. I would
Yeah.
say so. Church administrators are really an extra tier of sainthood, in my own personal opinion. So thank you for all that you do. Hey, another thing. We have November 9th, same day as the safety meeting. So we're doing the safety meeting with the congregation right after the service.
I forgot.
That evening, we have Hamsgiving. We're going to be providing hams, and the logo is going to appear right here. And
what logo?
the slide, I guess, that she made. Can we put that up?
The slide? I guess so, but I had a better idea.
Okay. You're just gonna put the pig over my face.
I should have put the pig
okay,
over your face.
That's fine. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right. Anyway.
I need a better oink. More like a hog.
I'm useless at this point. Anyway, hams giving. We will provide hams. You can come. You can bring your neighbor. You can bring your friends. You can bring multitudes of any of them. The requirement is when you come, you must bring a carry-in dish, but there's a catch. The carry-in dish has to have a pork product in it of some kind. I will count bacon grease as an additional ingredient because you can fit that into a bunch of different stuff that'll
I'm
kind of make it count.
I'm going to bring
bacon fried turkey bacon. Not really.
I think that's a violation of Levitical law. I'm pretty sure the entire event is, but well, that's okay. Anyway, I think that's all we had for announcements. And did you have anything else you wanted to say regarding upcoming stuff?
Yes. Don't forget to bring your bologna this week. We're going to be giving
You stop this.
bologna to Brad.
I'll freeze it and my daughter will eat it. We also, do we have Wednesday night next week?
We do not have I don't know. You tell me. You're the one in charge of
I don't think we have Wednesday night next week because it's going into fall break.
I know that I'm having a movie night with my students only, grade
Okay.
6 to 12.
Yeah, but the regular gathering of the whole church with the meal,
There's no dinner.
no dinner.
If you come, I'm not feeding you. And if you're above 12th grade, I can't let you in.
That sounds perfect.
I'm also not picking you up if you're not in 6th to 12th grade.
That's an exclusive group, as it should be.
We're watching Toy Story. You can get a ladder and watch the window, I guess.
That would be very creepy and very scary on this side. We're on the third story of an educational wing of the building right now. And I'm assuming this is 30 feet high? 40?
I don't know. We'll jump out the window
Pretty
and
tall.
count.
No.
I've got a tape measure.
Nose goes.
I've got a tape measure. We could pause right here and turn the camera. And
Yeah.
I have GoPros. We could drop the GoPro, see how fast it takes to go, and calculate its speed, and then find the distance.
Yep.
Rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole. Well, on that note, I will end with my joke.
Why aren't you giving us a preview of your next sermon, Brad?
That is because I will tell you the preview of the sermon text for this week, but I will not be here this Sunday.
Boo.
I will not be preaching this Sunday. I'm officiating a wedding. So we're going to be having Amos Raleigh. He was a guest preacher over the summer once for me. He seemed to be well liked by everybody. Really wonderful brother in the faith to me. And I'm looking forward to him taking you through the parable of the 10 minas in Luke 19, verses 11 through
Is that slang for
27.
minors?
No, it's not.
Ha 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 ha.
Proceeded to tell the parable. He was near Jerusalem because they supposed the kingdom of God was to appear immediately. And he said, therefore, a nobleman went into a far country to receive himself a kingdom and then return, calling 10 to them, engage in business until I come. So that's the preface of the scene in the story. Amos is going to go through that. A good friend of mine who pastored a couple churches over a period of like 10 years. And he's awesome. Just come listen to him preach. He's a wonderful dude. And yes, that's going to be this week's text. And I have a joke. What do you call? Oh, no. Not what do you call? Did you hear about the dyslexic, agnostic insomniac?
I did not.
He stayed up all night wondering if there really was a dog.
I get it, but it's really not all that funny.
I love it. I love jokes like that. Then there's also, I'll give two jokes. Did you hear about the dyslexic devil worshiper?
No.
He sold his soul to Santa.
That's better.
So there's your joke, your daily double of joke for the week.
Well, I've got a joke
So-
too. I have to
Okay.
one up you now.
All right, go ahead.
What do you call a guy floating down the river with no arms and no legs?
Bob.
Yes. I don't think I'm going to stump you on any of these, but I think they're funny.
Yeah, they are. They are quite funny. So, yeah, I think that's about all the content we have to cover this week. And thank you for listening. If there's anything crosstalk related, if there are prayer requests that you need, if there is questions you have, I'm waiting for somebody to give us some really pressing biblical questions, like the problem of good and evil, or whatever comes to your mind.
Why do
Something
bad
that's really
things happen to
itching
good people?
your curiosity. Yeah, well, yeah, that's an easy answer.
But don't answer it right now
No.
because we can save that for later.
Yeah, we'll save it for later. It's an, I shouldn't say it's an easy answer. It's an answerable answer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good. All right. Blessings and peace to you, dear brothers and sisters, far and wide. Thank you for coming to listen to Crosstalk this week.
And please come be a special guest soon.
Yes.
Goodbye. Drink your Ovaltine.